Hey, welcome back to Tubes Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny. And we got another Michael Burry tweet we're going to talk about today. Basically, he calling out kind of bias in the media is really the point I wanted to make with this, rather than the underlying story, which is also certainly something that should be paid attention to. But it highlights like a little bit of a kind of unfair analysis and representation by news media sources.
Oh, who would have thought media was unfair and would skew facts? Whew. If you like this kind of entertaining software and content, we're two guys trying to figure everything out. And yeah, boom. Two stupid guys trade stocks.
All right. So here's the story. Not like I said, not really trying to get political, but for those of you who don't know that, oil prices have been rather high. You must live in a rather interesting place to not be aware of that. But as part of the methodology for addressing this is that the U.S. has been releasing about 1 million barrels of oil per day from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. It's set to go through, I forget exactly, in the fall sometime. It'd be the largest drawdown in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in history, in order to help trying to control prices, is the thought process or the narrative that's spread. During the recent kind of publication of Freedom of Information Request stories here, came out that we actually had shipped almost 1 million barrels of this oil to Chinese state-owned entity, the Sinopec, of which President Biden's son Hunter has a financial relationship with, through one of his private equity company, which he helped found. That's what this whole kind of news story is about. But the thing that I found most interesting about this was that he's like, and I have to read the Washington Free Beacon to get this story. I had never heard of this publication before, admittedly,
I
either. So
I don't know what that is.
yeah, I went to their site to kind of read the whole story. This is the whole story. I can link it down below if anyone's kind of interested in it. It definitely reeks as of having a political axe to grind, if you will, throughout the entire article. Just the way that they talk about things, and they bring up a lot of unrelated negative stories towards like President Biden, at least in my opinion. You know, some kind of hypocrisy in terms of like Russian oil and that sort of stuff. But it is true, and very as a person that's interested in kind of learning and understanding the world around me, it really does frustrate me that the media is so apparent in their biases that they are unwilling to talk about certain topics that should be germane to like the public at large, and trying to like understand the world and why things occur. Like I am also not a oil expert, but the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, in particularly, I understand it is a type of crude oil that's actually much more easily refinable, and that is much more what's the word, desired in the marketplace, and then that was part of the kind of underlying story here, as opposed to it being refined in the U.S. for gas, where we had kind of historic high natural gas prices, whereas now we're kind of trending back down, unfortunately. But hard to argue that this was something that was not of interest to the public at large. Is my main point here.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think media has kind of died since like I feel like 2005. I'm gonna go to that's a really obscure year, but it's I don't know why I chose 2005. I'm trying. The reason why I'm saying that is the last respectful election I think I saw was Obama versus McCain. Like that's probably the most respectful one. Where like I mean McCain defended him like 3 times because people like called him a terrorist, and then Obama did the same for him. I was like, man. And then you see like Trump and Biden. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But it is pretty wild how like one side will only show pro videos for their side, the other side will also only show pro videos for their side. One thing I do think needs to be in context here is how many barrels was it?
950,000, so a little bit under a million, which is basically what we're releasing per day.
Because I mean, apparently we use 19.78 million barrels per day in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of a drop in the bucket.
About 5%. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
and this is it's for one day. There's
yes,
365 days. Like
I I know.
I
In
mean,
the I know. In the grand scheme of things, it's not exactly a major mover of the needle, but I just I dislike how apparent it is that they are unwilling to talk about certain things. And like, I mean,
oh,
like I said,
that's
I've
a
never heard of
nightmare.
this publication.
Completely
This
agree.
publication is the exact opposite, where they seem like the you can actually. If you want me to show you, I'll show you the. They literally have a tab on here called the Biden administration, where it's just like all these articles. Yeah, that. But kind of a lot of slanted pieces going the opposite direction, which is also rather unfortunate. I don't know why people need to, kind of be so ardent to each party as opposed to like calling out everything that each one does that is
Yeah.
kind of ridiculous or
It's oh
questionable
yeah.
in debating the merits.
It's
Is where I
just
am
it's
at.
just blind tribalism. It's not great. I'm gonna get yelled at in the comments for that one. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm with you, and I agree. But yeah, just my point with this whole video is just that it is something that Michael Burry called out there as far as this lack of transparency and good, honest journalism.
Yep. Completely agree on that part. All right,
Yep,
guys.
agreed. All right, catch you in the next one.
Have a good one.